Gonna get crazy!
Most everyone's mad here.
Oh, yes, it is happening again. Welcome back, everyone, to AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. How are you all doing, everyone? Because I know I'm doing well. I just hope that you guys are doing well as well. Well, did I just repeat myself? Probably. Anyways, though, we're mainly here to go and have a good time. And with today's episode, I know that we will have some very fascinating articles to go and discuss, in a lot of which, they actually did pique my interest. Maybe there will be some that may not necessarily be animation related, but you will find that a lot of them actually do have a bit of a major connection with what I do, both in and out of my videos and in and out of this podcast as well. But either way, I think we are still gonna have a great time, and this will still result in a pretty solid episode. So, first things first, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, are you all prepared for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, folks. Are you all ready? Well, let's see. Okay, that's nice to see. People are prepared. People are all set. That's beautiful to see. And with all that said and done, I believe now it is time that we shall go and get things started. And with the first story that I have for you today, now this one is actually going to be a bit more anime-related news.
Yeah!
Oh, and we just have a subscription. Thank you so much, Daniel, for that sub. That's pretty nice right there. But yes, we are going to be diving into the anime section of this podcast here. Well, I don't know if I do have an anime section, but either way, this time around, we're going to be talking about what's been happening with Crunchyroll. And lately, there have been a bit of backlash with how things are going with the studio. Maybe not necessarily with the animes themselves, but rather with the way that they have been treating their animators. I mean, technically some people could say that, well, in terms of the humane side of things, they do treat them quite decently, but I'm mostly talking about the finances, and when it comes to paying their animators, they can be quite cheapskates, especially with the fact that they are pretty anti-union. So the main reason why I'm talking about this and what's been going on so far is regarding a specific anime. One that is actually pretty popular so far is called Mob Psycho 100, and that is currently one of Crunchyroll's bigger animes right now. And if you know the anime, well, you know that coming soon there is going to be a season 3. But what I'm going to be focusing here is going to be in regards to its English dub. Specifically, the man who actually voices the lead character, who voices Mob himself, Kyle McCarley. And with the new season 3 and the fact that now there's going to be more work for some of those Crunchyroll actors, Kyle decided that this would actually be the perfect opportunity to go and introduce unions onto Crunchyroll, to go and have a moment where they can go and discuss with the Acting Union of America, SAG-AFTRA, or as it's properly referred to as the Screen Actors Guild - American Federation of Television and Radio Arts. Oh, and thank you, Meta Ralph, for that extra subscription there. So yeah, basically the whole point of what Kyle wanted to do, considering that he is a very strong advocate for union work, and especially a very prominent voice in the anime world, and also doing a lot of animes for Crunchyroll. He just wanted to have a moment for Crunchyroll to go and talk with SAG-AFTRA. Like nothing like anything too big, not saying immediately like, we want our work to be unionized. No, he just wants to have a moment where in exchange of reprising his role in Mob Psycho 100, that he would want Crunchyroll to go and have a talk with SAG-AFTRA to see if there can be some negotiations where the work they will do can be unionized, and that there can be that connection between the two instead of having Crunchyroll be strictly non-union, or be the grand majority of it have it be non-union. And that's all that he really wanted to do. And he was very dedicated in trying to make that talk happen, to speak with the people from SAG-AFTRA, and also to go and have the people at Crunchyroll to go come together and have a talk. But unfortunately, Crunchyroll decided to just completely reject that. And by the way, before I continue, I just want to mention that if you would like to know more info about what happened in terms of Kyle McCarley's position, and how it ultimately went with all those discussions and stuff, I highly recommend that you would go and check out his YouTube account, or his YouTube video in which he talked about it. I thought there would be a link to it, but then again, I am using Firefox for this. Anyways, I know that he pretty much goes in length about discussing of what happened with that deal and what he tried to do. And yeah, by the way, can you all still see me? Can you all hear me? I know that I could see that apparently the stream is not going as strong for some reason. Then again, it's not necessarily a great day outside, so maybe the weather is doing something. Oh boy, yeah, this is I noticed the stream is already having problems. Hold on a sec, let me see if I can here, maybe it's just a soft reset I will do. So I'll be right back. Hold on a sec. So let me just do this quickly. Sorry for the interruption, folks, by the way. It's just a bit of technical difficulties on the Twitch side of things. So let's see now, reconnect. Hopefully this can properly work out now. Yeah, I don't know. It's just maybe it's my internet connection. Maybe it's just outside. It's a very, very cloudy day, by the way. So usually it would mess up with my connection. And just wanted to see. Okay, it's not even connecting, so hold on. Let me just write down. Make things work on my end. Okay, let's see now. Oh no, really? What? Oh, it doesn't even want to. Oh god. Oh, hold on a sec. Oh, there we go. Okay, so is it working now? All right. Do we have a proper connection? Are things working? Can you guys hear me? Chat wall, just want to know. Okay. Finally. Okay, thank you. I don't know what the fridge was, that weird little connection there, but sorry for that little interruption, folks. I guess I had a little bit of small technical difficulties. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So, if you all would like to know more info in regards to what happened on Kyle McCarley's side, then go and check out his YouTube channel, where he would go talk in length about the situation with his failed attempt of trying to have Crunchyroll discuss with SAG-AFTRA. And because of that video, it did get a bit more attention, and Crunchyroll got a little bit of backlash. To which, in that regard, Crunchyroll was left no choice but to go and actually respond to the controversy and what their plan is going to be, rather with SAG-AFTRA or with Season 3 of Mob Psycho 100. And this, oh, there it is. Ah, finally. Okay, yeah. This is the video that I'm talking about, by the way. This is a video called A Message to the Fans of Mob Psycho 100. And again, this is directly from Kyle McCarley's channel. So this is just to quickly go and highlight. Okay, so maybe it's just my computer like just being a little bit slow. Okay, but anyways, back to what I was talking about. So this is Crunchyroll's response to the controversy. So I'm going to go and read from my source here on Kotaku, as it states. A Crunchyroll representative sent Kotaku an email in response to McCarley's role as Mob in Season 3 of Mob Psycho 100, saying, Crunchyroll is excited to bring fans worldwide the dub for the third season of Mob Psycho 103 as a simul dub. the same day and date as the Japanese broadcast. We'll be producing the English dub at our Dallas production studios, and to accomplish this seamlessly per our production and casting guidelines, we will need to recast some roles. We're excited for fans to enjoy the new voice talent and greatly thank any departing cast for their contributions to previous seasons. So as you could tell, this thing just made the situation so much worse, in which not only did Crunchyroll decide that they don't want to talk with unions at all, they want to try to hide from SAG-AFTRA, but also they pretty much have confirmed that because of what Kyle McCarley wanted to do, they fired him from his role in Mob Psycho 100. And thus, here we are today, bringing up the controversial subject of Crunchyroll and overall just the union problem with the anime industry, or at least the anime English dub industry, especially in regards to the fact that, well, for the most part, there isn't any. In fact, I will go and state right now that technically this does not reflect on all companies that specialize in anime English dubs or anime dubs or whatever, because I know there are some that actually do that do work with union actors and follow union rules when it comes to their dubs. Netflix actually being one of them. When they would go and distribute animes, and when they want to do an English dub, they would actually go and follow union rules. Now, before I continue and that I would go in depth into this discussion, I want to go and make one big clarification that when it comes to acting and stuff like that, believe it or not, it is actually a part-time job of mine. Yes, outside of videos and this podcast and stuff like that, I am also an actor, and I've actually done some experience both working in union jobs and in non-union jobs. I am mainly a voice actor. Yes, I have done some animation roles, I've done some video game roles, and I have done a few commercials. But at the same time, I've also done some on-camera work, most of which being extra parts, but I have done some experience throughout my time as an actor. And yes, I mean, technically I did start off doing years and years of theater when growing up, but I guess you could say my main things are either behind the camera, not behind the camera, but in front of the camera or in front of the mic. So, I will state also, I have yet to actually do an anime job, although I would like to do an anime job, but still though, I have plenty of experience working in acting, and I understand about the whole feeling about wages and working in the business, and especially like when you're in front of the mic, like the amount of work that you have to do in order to go and like play as your character, whether it be for something small like a commercial or for even something big like a TV show or a movie. So honestly, I am fully aware with the entire controversy revolving the anime industry and with their position on unions, which they are extremely against. And that's why there's always that hesitancy that some actors have when it comes to working in anime, because it really is a lot of work, but so little pay at the same time. I mean, yeah, it's fun to be in an anime. Like, who wouldn't want to be in like this action-packed Japanese cartoon where you would be like this awesome hero and you would be screaming your way into like battles and stuff like that? But it's just the pay of it is absolutely ridiculous. And amongst all the roles or the type of performances that you can do, anime is actually considered one of the lowest paying jobs ever. In fact, like, not only is this a prominent example, like this entire Mob Psycho 100 controversy, like you see, is an example of their anti-unions, but we have seen like plenty of other like examples throughout the past, and a lot of it technically has to do with the amount of money that you would get, because like the big thing when it comes to unions is regarding the payment that you would have, because like when you're in like SAG-AFTRA, or in my case as a Canadian, I am part of ACTRA, which is the Canadian Acting Union. There is like a bit, there is like a limit to how little you would pay your actors. There's like a bottom like minimum wage, and then you would have to go up from there. And without it, then the clients or the filmmakers or the casting people, like without any unions, they're pretty much free to go and pay you whatever you want. And sometimes people can go and exploit you to the point where like you would be paid like extremely little. And sometimes like the amount, like it's especially dangerous and especially like worrisome, like when you would go and compare to like how the project could ultimately end up. Because yeah, you could end up being paid like a small fixed price, but then like the anime project would go on to become massively successful and would make like millions of dollars, and it would feel like the amount that you would end up getting paid is almost nothing. And the greatest example of that is actually fairly recently, earlier this year. Maybe you remember there was this anime movie called Jujutsu Kaisen 0. And to go and highlight that, there's actually this great article that really does go in depth into discussing this situation. It's called The Battle for Union Anime Dubs by Evan Minto in Anime News Network. And this actually does a pretty solid job actually really going into in-depth in regards to the problem with the lack of unions that there currently are or in the anime industry, or like how very little there actually is, especially when it comes to like some of the biggest anime distributors out there like Crunchyroll and Funimation before they would fuse with Crunchyroll. But going back into my example of Jujutsu Kaisen 0, now let me just go and where is this? Here, let me just go and read from this section right over here. So reading from my source here on Anime News Network, it states, pay rates for dubbing are among the lowest in the acting business, and the problem is even worse in anime. Larger and larger companies are getting involved in the process, yet wages remain the same, says voice actor Marin Miller, who voiced Izanami in Be the Beginning. Money is obviously being made, but it's not trickling down. Consider Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the anime film that took the #2 spot in the US box office in its opening weekend. And by the way, just to give you a little more context, Jujutsu Kaisen 0 was released in North America somewhere in March of 2022, around the same time that the Batman was just dominating and reviving the box office. So the fact that like it did pretty well, and if I do recall correctly, the box office number that Jujutsu Kaisen 0 actually made was just under $30 million. And I think in regards to like this anime movie suddenly coming in at the box office, ranking at #2 right under the Batman during its heyday, that is like absolutely incredible. But going back into the article, as voice actor Michael Schwalb discussed in a recent Twitter thread, Jujutsu Kaisen's English voice actors were likely paid just $150 to $600 each, based on the going rate in the industry. That's not per hour rate, that is the total amount. And there's also another example that actually highlights the kind of low pay that these people would legitimately get. Here's another example here. And also highlights like the major problem as to like what's wrong with this. Crunchyroll didn't provide a comment when asked about their past and future union dubbing policies. According to CODA, which by the way is the Coalition of Dubbing Actors, the pay rates for Funimation shows range from $35 to $75 per hour, depending on the number of hours worked. Video game and anime voice actor Sarah Sakura, who voiced Hayate in Rumble Garandal, says that's not nearly enough. She'd like to see the rate go up to $125 to $150 an hour with a 2-hour minimum, so the actor is paid at least 2 hours even for a short session. citing shows like Dragon Ball that require strenuous sessions that could be vocally damaging. She also wants to see hazard pay for actors. Miller and Steve Bloom, who you know as Spike from Cowboy Bebop, echoes her concern. I saw people damage themselves permanently for some of the lowest pay in the industry. So as you could see, rather it be for anime shows or anime movies, the pay is stupidly low. I would even say it is insultingly low, because I know that I've personally done a lot of work where I ended up getting paid so much more than even some of the biggest voice actors today. In fact, if you want to know a great example of how low this pay actually is, allow me to go and express an experience that I've had. I won't go like too deep into details about it, but it should give you like a great example of what I mean. Now, earlier this year, I actually got a job where one day I got to be an extra for a movie. Now, this isn't a big movie. This was only for like this little TV movie. Like, it was technically from a pretty well-known company, but it wasn't going on the big screen. It wasn't really something that would go directly to streaming. It was like technically something that was made as a TV movie and nothing more. And I was there to just go and play as an extra for that one day. I mean, technically it was for the full day. Like, I had to be there from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock at night. So yeah, definitely a lot of hours, but still only there for that one day. And on that day, the only thing that I was required to do was to just walk from point A to point B. And I was far from the camera as well. Like, I was only there to immerse the area to make it look like the place is thriving, that it is kind of like an area where that it is populated. So that's the only thing I had to do. I wasn't given any lines at all. I was very far from the camera, but my role is just to go and walk from point A to point B. And I highly doubt that if the movie would go and eventually show up, I would even question if I myself could even find where I was, like, in that one particular scene. So that's all I literally did one day, to just go from point A to point B. And that's it. That's all I have done throughout that entire day. And the payment that I have received for that one day, where I had no dialogue, I was like probably over a mile away from the camera, or like I was definitely far from the camera for sure, and where all I did was just walk from one place to another again and again and again, I was actually paid over $500. Now, not necessarily that big, but for one day to do that little extra role and get paid over $500, that's actually pretty solid. But when you go and compare that to what anime voice actors have to do, it is certainly unfair. And if it is true with what they're pointing out with Jujutsu Kaisen 0, where at the most that they would be paid would be $600, then you could see how bad it is. Because, like, if you would end up getting paid like I did for something like Jujutsu Kaisen 0, you would have to do tons more work. Yeah, maybe you don't have to go on set and be in front of a camera and like just walk everywhere and be like have a physical role and stuff like that, but it's still so much work when you have to go and do an anime, especially for something as prominent like Jujutsu Kaisen 0, where if you end up getting the lead role, then you wouldn't spend just one day. You would have to go several days on set where you have to go and read hundreds of lines, like 200, 300, maybe even 400 or 500 lines. And you would have to go and say each of those lines, like do 2 to 3 takes each at minimum. And this does not count all of like the wallas that you have to do, all the big, like all the big action moments, like all the sounds that you have to make, and especially like all the different screams that you have to do, all the things that would go and damage your vocal cords and stuff like that. And imagine, like, those actors have to do that with Jujutsu Kaisen 0 or other anime movies like that, and they would end up getting as much or even less of a pay than my experience as an extra for that one day. Now you could see the massive problem with it, right? And not to mention, there is also the issue in regards to working in a series where at minimum, or like the price they have to pay, like if they're going to work on a TV show, they would only have to pay like $35 or $75 an hour. And that is absolutely ridiculous. Like, how can you just pay that much to your actors? Because like even during the summer, there was a video game that I had to voice, and I was barely even there for an hour. Like, I think at the most I stayed at that studio, like going in and going out for like 30 minutes, for about a half an hour, and I was paid over $300 for that. I mean, I think honestly, it really was a case where driving to the studio actually took much longer than my time in the studio. And I was still paid like a decent amount with over $300. And yet these anime voice actors, they have to give it their complete all. And they would be lucky if they see one day where they would get paid over $300. That is just mind-blowing. And hopefully this would give you a pretty solid example. Oh, great. It's buffering again. Ah, crap. Okay, can you... Oh, okay, hold on. It's coming back. Okay, hopefully it's still coming back. But, yeah. But anyways, the point that I am trying... by the way, can you guys still see me? Okay, hold on a sec. Here, let me go and just quickly redo... Are you sure? I don't know. Like, I see the numbers, like, they're really fluctuating. I'm just going to say right now. Because, like, sometimes it's going great. Sometimes it's not. Okay. But hopefully, let me just ask people, like, now, can you still... Okay, good. Okay, so, okay, things are back to normal. But, yeah. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make here is that I could definitely see, based on experience, that the amount of pay that these actors are getting is absolutely ridiculous. And it's sad to know in regards to the fact that, like, this is especially the case when it comes to some of the most famous animes out there. Like, imagine stuff like Dragon Ball or One Piece, and you know that there is that strong possibility that those actors, they are non-union. They don't really have that much of a pay for doing that incredible work, for working on like some of the biggest animes out there, like some of the biggest franchises in the world even. And yet the amount that they would receive does not, it does not reflect upon the popularity of it. You'd think like they would go and get some major money if you would go and work on something like Dragon Ball and stuff like that. But unfortunately, it is not the case here. And not to mention the fact that, unfortunately, like with this entire controversy that's going on, it really does highlight a very dark reality where it seems pretty impossible by now to go and actually make a living off of doing anime dubs. Now, technically, yes, it is indeed possible that you can go and work hard and you'll end up like frequently getting an opportunity to be a voice in an anime. Like, that is indeed possible. But because of the amount of pay that you would get, it's impossible that you would make that as your job alone, that you can live off of just voicing in anime dubs. It's impossible because they don't pay you enough. And also, I just want to go and highlight that this isn't just about the money. This entire situation, it's not all about the money, it's not about getting good pay and stuff like that. It's also about the security and the well-being of the actors. Like, that is the major reason. In fact, Kyle even mentioned, like, when he was doing Mob Psycho, or when he was offered to do season 3 of Mob Psycho, he actually stated in the video that he was technically going to get around the same pay as if Crunchyroll was working with the union. Like, technically the pay was there, but it is mainly about the well-being. Because as you probably know, working in an anime, like I stated, it's very much a lot of hard work. In fact, like, of course, about like the old cliche about like those animes where they would constantly scream, and you see like characters like in Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, where you would see Goku or you would see other characters like Vegeta just like screaming on the side to hype up to go and become Super Saiyan, like, ah! Those things are absolutely murder to your vocal cords. And even like as the article stated on Anime News Network, even Steam Bloom has actually witnessed some people like permanently damaging their vocal cords. Like, it's not something that they could treat lightly. In fact, I remember there was this Warhammer 40K game that I actually provided the voice in, and like that was something where like I was only there for about an hour, but it was still very taxing on my vocal cords. Like, it was tough. Like, I had to literally scream out my lines like, "Miserable kids, you must obey me!" Like that, like, honestly, to keep that going, even if it's for like a half an hour, it is very, very tough. And even afterwards, like when I had to go back home, like I had to take a moment to just stay quiet, not talk much, and just have something to soothe my throat, like some tea. And the thing is, when you go into the union, if the work is unionized, then they will make sure that you don't overdo it. Like, they will make sure that your vocal cords can have some moment, can have some moment of rest, that you could take it easy. There is a certain time limit of how many times you can go and do all those like screaming lines, or you just flat out scream. You know, there is a bit, you know, like they do provide that limit, because again, unions are not just about the money. It's also about the well-being of the actors, that not only are you going to be there. Oh my God, I just looked outside and it's snowing. But anyway, sorry, I just got distracted. But as I was saying, the thing with unions is that not only is it to protect the finances of the actor, but it's also meant to protect the well-being of the actor. And with Crunchyroll not accepting that, it is just insane. And I feel like nowadays, I feel like Crunchyroll in its position right now, and not just Crunchyroll, but to a certain extent, the parent company, Sony, they have no excuse, especially now that with the way that Crunchyroll has blended with Funimation, it's almost a monopoly that they have in terms of international anime distribution. Like, right now, they are like the dominant major company. And the fact that like they hold the majority of it, you know, it's hard to imagine how is it that they still refuse to go and have their actors be unionized. I find that to be absolutely ludicrous. How it, like, right now, the fact that they like now they actually have the ability to go and release animes on the big screen, even if it's just for like a week or two, and they can make some serious big bucks. Like even during the summer, there was that new Dragon Ball movie that came out, and that actually performed pretty solidly well for itself at the box office. I think it even made it to #1 in the North American domestic box office. And at that point, we are seeing that anime is becoming more and more profitable as it is entering more and more into the mainstream. And the fact that the actors are still getting very little pay upon it, there really is this massive injustice there. And yes, I certainly do agree that yes, Crunchyroll should work with SAG-AFTRA. In fact, even SAG-AFTRA are very well aware of the situation. And if you check upon their social media, even they are demanding to have a talk, to go and have a talk with Crunchyroll. So honestly, with this situation, yes, it very much sucks for people like Kyle and McCarley, who, you know, like especially with Kyle, where he ended up losing his job, even just by the mention of like working with a union. It really is unfortunate, but you know, I feel like Crunchyroll is pretty much in this position where they are dominating, but you know, it feels a little bit tyrannical with the way that not just how they're like dominating the industry, but how they're controlling their finance as well, and how little that they are paying their anime dubs, or at least their English or at least their dubbed voice actors. Like, they definitely do deserve like a lot more of a pay, especially nowadays when anime is indeed becoming more and more popular. And I mean, again, the fact that they are under a major corporation like Sony, there's just no excuse. And like, as time moves on and the more popular that anime is becoming, there is no reason why Crunchyroll should not be unionized. There's no reason why any of like these major anime distributors, they shouldn't be a part of a union. They should, at least for the respect and for the well-being of these voice actors, because you'd think like for people who would have a legacy, be known as like the voice of Goku in Dragon Ball, or Tanjiro in Demon Slayer, or Luffy in One Piece, like you'd think that they would be making some big bucks, but unfortunately that doesn't seem to be the case. Like, yeah, the animes are legendary, but the payment of the actors do not reflect that. And that is why something should change on that. And I'm speaking as an actor and as a voice actor myself, that yes, I would want to see Crunchyroll to go and work with the union, because they got some major properties, and how much the actors are being paid for that should actually reflect upon like the franchise that they're working on. So I just want to go and put my piece onto that, and hopefully there won't be any more interruptions or technical difficulties happening onto this. Okay, but anyways, now with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, how do you all feel about the Crunchyroll controversy? Do you think that Crunchyroll should have a talk with SAG-AFTRA? Do you think those actors should be under union contracts? Let me know what you all think on this. Okay, let's see now. Good job, Crunchyroll. You didn't make everyone, you didn't just make everyone hate you, but you also highlighted how working with anime is usually pretty terrible, especially when it comes to your health and payment. I feel sorry for Kyle for being thrown out of Crunchyroll like garbage, and I hope he, along with many other anime voice actors, will at some point unionize and protest against companies like Crunchyroll. With how stainful anime voice acting can be, they certainly deserve better treatment. Oh yeah, absolutely. And again, Crunchyroll is such a huge company right now. Like the fact that they almost monopolize international anime distributions, like the fact that they have like most of the biggest names in anime under their belts. Like why would you not unionize? Like that is literally just a cheapskate move. Yeah, a cheapskate move. Anyways, I'm not experienced with unions, so I don't have much to say here other than that these voice actors deserve way better for their craft. But I can't just leave you guys off with nothing, right? How about an unrelated random fact? Did you know that a Buzz Life audio commentary track was recorded at 1 a.m. during the production of Toy Story 2? Ooh, well, that's fascinating. Anyways, these anti-union companies feel like the real-life equivalent of the Krusty Krab. That it reminds me of a story at Activision Blizzard where they hired a union-busting law firm that Amazon and Uber also hired, named WilmerHale. It doesn't help either that the anime dubbing industry has a long history of being against unions. The folks at Crunchyroll seem really talented and passionate about their job, so I just hope things turn out well for them, because they are human beings and not bots. Yeah, that's sadly the whole thing, because it really is a case of just large corporations fighting against unions because they don't want to shell out that extra money in order for the benefit and the well-being of union actors. Like we have seen nowadays, like time and time again, how you see those major corporations like Amazon and Activision Blizzard and Uber, like they would try their hardest not to have their employees be unionized so that they themselves can save some extra money. It really is about the people. It really is a case of like the people versus large multi-billion-dollar corporations. And yes, with how big the anime industry has become, I would even say that Crunchyroll is a multi-billion-dollar corporation, or at least a part of one, considering that they are attached to Sony or even Sony Pictures. I mean, for God's sakes, like, you'd think that this would be a situation that, like, Sony Pictures would go and intervene and they would go and have their actors be unionized. You know, like, it doesn't just make Crunchyroll look bad, it also makes Sony look bad. And like, I know, like, a lot of I know the actors who do work in like Sony animated projects, they would be unionized, but you know, like, I just hope that they're not going to go and follow those kinds of practices onto those projects, you know what I mean? Anyways, I just got out of watching Dragon Ball Super Superhero for the third time in theaters, which is fantastic, by the way, but hearing how Crunchyroll treats the English dub voice actors with low payment is just wrong. Anime has become a lot more bigger and prominent in the mainstream in recent years, and Crunchyroll needs to be a part of the union so that many actors can be safe for their well-being. If they don't, then things will get worse for them. Joining the union is not that hard. And that's kind of the sad thing, is that, like, the sad reality is that with how the anime industry is growing, and especially even the voice acting industry is also growing as well, especially because of the pandemic, where a lot of people think that, oh, you could just buy a microphone and think that you could just become a voice actor, but it actually requires so much work than that. And you know that companies such as Crunchyroll, they can easily go and exploit people into having them work for them. Like, yeah, it would look pretty on your portfolio, but it's not going to do much in terms of like paying the bills and stuff like that. So really, it's just like the fact that they're not working with unions, it just makes them really look like a cheapskate again. And the fact that they would just go and like exploit their actors, that's what it feels like. And that's why it's so controversial, is that the fact that Crunchyroll does not want to work with unions, they rather want to go and exploit their actors. Let's see, what else do we have here? What other comments? Personally, I have never really heard of Mob Psycho 100 because I'm not into anime that much. Kyle McCarley did do the right thing, demanding for a union with how the anime industry can be unfair with pay, especially with voice acting. It can be very unfair with the amount of pay these people are getting for their work. So overall, I hope we will still see Crunchyroll form a union and these people could be treated more fairly. And that's the really messed up part about this. It's the fact that with Kyle McCarley, like, he didn't demand Crunchyroll to be to work with SAG-AFTRA. Like, he was only suggesting the idea. That's the thing. He was just suggesting for a talk. He was not demanding, like, let's be unionized now. No, he was just suggesting the idea that Crunchyroll and SAG-AFTRA would just have a talk, and that's it. And apparently that was enough for Crunchyroll to go that is apparently enough for Crunchyroll to go and immediately kick out Kyle. And sadly, this is a story that is actually, it's a little bit common in the industry. In fact, there have been some rumors passing around that it is why Steve Whitmire ended up getting fired from the Muppets, despite the fact that he worked with the Muppets for decades, even during Jim Henson's age, and being the puppeteer of Kermit the Frog. Allegedly, he got fired because he wanted his fellow puppeteers to also be unionized, not just like the main ones who are playing like Kermit, Fozzie, Gonzo, and all those guys, but for even the smaller puppeteers to be a part of the union. And that's what led to the Jim Henson Company to ultimately fire Steve Whitmire and have Matt Vogel be the new Kermit. But again, those are just rumors, but it is very believable with how many of these companies can be anti-union. I'm going to go and read one more comment before we move on to the next story. Let's see, what other comments do we have? People underestimate the work that goes into voice acting and the strain it actually does to the health of the actors. It's not just making funny voices and yelling. I feel like sideways YouTube videos on Cats and Les Mis made me appreciate the science and the health of vocal performances. Oh yeah, and I could speak by experience that when it comes to voice acting, like the acting really is the main part of it. Even though I would just be using my voice, like I could be very physical, like in order to get like the right inflection out, in order to get the dialogue properly released. Like, yeah, I would definitely use my whole body in order to perform, despite the fact that I'm not in front of the camera. I'm just in front of the microphone. So yeah, I can speak by experience that voice acting is a lot of hard work. Like even just doing my videos or even doing this podcast in general, like that is a lot of hard work, and it could be a lot on my voice as well. So yeah, this is all to just go and express my thoughts on the entire situation, and even as an actor myself. And I do wish the best of luck for people like Kyle McCarley, and I do wish the best of luck for SAG-AFTRA, that one day they will actually have that talk with Crunchyroll. All right, so moving on to our next story. Now, the next one that we have over here, maybe it's not necessarily cartoon related, but it does relate to what you guys in the chat wall are watching right now, which is all about Twitch. Now, lately, Twitch has been in a nightmare scenario. It literally has been the case where day after day, they have just been faced with controversy after controversy after controversy after controversy. Like they were just hit with like controversies one after another, again and again and again and again. Most of which are related to the top streamers on Twitch, where they have their own piece of drama and some crazy scenarios that would happen, including one streamer who ended up gambling away around $300,000 on his stream, and that prompted Twitch to go and announce that apparently they would go and ban gambling, or at least ban most of gambling onto Twitch, which, is a right move. It is morally good, but then again, that's going to be something that will stir a lot of backlash and a lot of controversies, considering that there are some streamers who do rely on gambling in order to do their streams and stuff like that. And there's even another one that's absolutely nuts, where apparently it's a chess controversy where one master chess player was accused of cheating because he used anal beads in order to go and detect if there's like a right move that he has to do. Like if he has a tingly feeling on his butthole, then that means, oh, gotta go and take this and put it over there. But again, those are just allegations. There is no confirmation if the person actually did cheat that way. But yeah, it really was a crazy one. I highly recommend you go and look that up. But what I'm going to be talking about specifically is not going to be any of the pieces of the drama, but it's in regards to the backlash that Twitch itself is getting. And this is actually in regards, once again, about payment. So recently, Twitch has actually announced that they are going to do pay cuts primarily for their top streamers. So the big thing with what Twitch would usually do is that when it comes to their most popular streamers, like the kind of streamers whom they would be on Twitch very regularly, and they would accumulate like over 1,000 or even like thousands of viewers on a regular or even daily basis. So when it comes to those people who are very prominent, who are very big, apparently they're going to get their pay cut. They're going to get a massive pay cut. Because how the system works on Twitch is that for any streamer, like if you do sign on to become a Twitch affiliate, which is the position that I'm in right now, you would end up getting a 50-50 split in terms of subscriptions. For the amount that you would get paid for subscriptions or bits and stuff like that, you would go and receive half, and Twitch would receive half. But then if you become like a major player, like if you become a partner on Twitch, and you would end up getting more and more and more viewers and followers and subscribers and stuff like that, then Twitch would allow you to go and have an increase in your pay, where you would actually get a 70% cut of all those donations, of all those subscriptions, and all those cheers and all that kind of stuff. So there is a system that they got going on that encourages smaller Twitch streamers to go and one day hopefully achieve. But it looks like Twitch right now, they decided to go and cut that, specifically in terms of the 70-30 cut. They decided to completely remove it, where now it's literally everyone who has to go and receive a 50% cut. Like, there is no higher ranking that people could hope to go and have. It really is just that. It's literally just 50-50, regardless of what position you're in, regardless of how popular you are, regardless if you're like a top streamer or a beginner streamer. It's always 50-50 no matter what. In fact, reading from my source here on Forbes, there's actually several reasons as to why like this got a lot of heat. In fact, let me just go and read you here on top, like to go specifically into what I'm talking about. Twitch has announced on Wednesday that premium creators who have received a 70-30 subscription split in their favor will now see that split capped after the first $100,000 of earning. After that, the split will change to 50-50, which is the standard split for non-premium normal Twitch streamers. The changes will not go into effect until June 1st, 2023, and will not alter Twitch contracts. Now, the reason why this has been getting a lot of hate and a lot of backlash is because, number one, these top-tier streamers feel like they help build Twitch's success, which Twitch even admits in their blog post, and cuts are likely to potentially propel them to a rival like YouTube, which has a 70-30 split, once their contracts are up. Meanwhile, non-superstar normal streamers have been hoping that the opposite of this would happen, that the 50-50 split would be increased to 70-30 for everyone, and taxing the most successful creators is not helping them, and nothing significant changes positively for them. Problem number 3, this new focus on ads has everyone at all tiers upset, given that ads drive away viewers and have already become more prevalent and aggressive on Twitch recently. No one is excited to lean more heavily into showing their viewers ads. And finally, number 4, through all of this, everyone is continuously reminded that Amazon, the trillion-dollar megacorp, owns Twitch, so these cuts feel unnecessary. Even if no doubt the mandate from the top is that Twitch itself needs to become more profitable and can't simply subsidize by Amazon. Oh, and that is one thing I almost forgot to go and mention. The big reason why they would go and do this move is because Twitch wanted to go and encourage their streamers to put in more ads. That a way to go and compensate for the smaller distribution is that they would go and place in a lot more ads onto their streams. Now, one thing I want to go and clarify immediately is that I am not ignorant to what you guys are saying in the chat wall. I know that many of you are not fans of the ads, and it's understandable. I mean, like, yeah, I know I am guilty of doing so by placing in ads. I mean, I'm trying to run a business as well with my podcast, and I am hoping that it could be like a good and viable business. So like a part of me is just doing that because like I'm playing the game. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure that I don't want to like bombard this entire podcast or this entire live stream with nothing but ads. Honestly, I did try to put in a limit. Like I think I'm only doing it like 20, like I think it's like 25 minutes at a time, or there's like 25 minutes and then suddenly you get a few minutes of ads and that's it. But I do agree that Twitch ads are indeed the worst. More than any other platform out there, Twitch ads are like really stupid. And unfortunately, there might be a bit of a case where some of you may experience that pretty soon. But as I was saying, the problem with Twitch ads is that they don't stop what you are watching. At least with ads like on YouTube, they have the courtesy to actually stop the video so that they can go and play the ads. And then once that ad is over, you can resume back onto the video, so you don't technically miss a thing. But when it comes to Twitch, when it comes to doing live streams, they don't stop. Like the ads don't actually stop what you are watching. Like they don't actually stop to make sure that, oh, hold on, we're going to make sure you don't miss a thing or anything like that. No, like the ads play while the live stream would still be playing. So you would lose a little bit of context. You would lose a little bit of like the entertainment that you would get onto Twitch. And that thing actually, like that thing, honestly, it does suck. I mean, I wish, you know, honestly, like I do wish there can be a solution that I can provide to you guys where like, okay, yeah, you would not have to endure ads or stuff like that. And I mean, like I do have subscriptions. Like you can, like, honestly, the best solution that I can do is just, you know, you can go and watch my you can watch these streams you can watch these streams without ads by just paying a little bit through the subscriptions. But honestly, there's like sadly, like I'm trying to run a business, so it's impossible to like not have, like, for you to not have ads and not pay at all. You know, it's like one or the other. And you know, it like that does suck. I understand that. And I'm trying, I know some people are even suggesting like, well, why don't you just use ad block? Well, I mean, that's a bit of a douchey thing, though. It's like, the problem is, it's like, well, I mean, how can I have my, like the thing with using ad blocks is that it's kind of screwing me over. You know what I mean? That's kind of the problem. It's not unfortunately, ad blocks are not really user friendly. Like, yeah, I get why you want to use it because ads can be annoying, but it's like kind of a problematic thing for me, if you get what I mean. Ah, great. It's buffering again. Are you freaking kidding me? What's the problem with these? Like, I'm sorry for this, folks. I don't know what the fridge is happening, but hold on. I'll just give it like a second or two for it to... Okay, nope. It's dead. Yeah, I don't know what the fridge is going on. I'm hoping like... Okay, yeah. Let me just stop it again. Ah, great. Oh, so sorry about... Let me try this again. I don't know what's happening today. I don't know, like, what the big problem is. Like, today, out of all days, that, like, my computer or outside, there's some kind of force out there. I don't get it. Okay, guys, can you see me again? Oh, boy. Again, I do apologize. I don't know what the fridge is happening. I don't know why the connection is going so bad. And it's... Okay, is it dying again? Is it honestly dying? Okay, no. Okay, good. Okay, it's much better. Yeah, I really do apologize. I don't know what the fridge is happening. I don't know why, like, it's been buffering so much. Like, I don't know why today, out of all days, that the internet has to be, like, really buffering, or it's just not that strong in order to do a stream. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. Like, yeah, I agree with you. It's like really problematic, or maybe it's Twitch's fault. Who the fridge knows? Okay, but yeah, you guys know what I mean, though. Like, back to what I was talking about with this entire Twitch thing. Fudge. What was I talking about? Chat wall, can you actually help me out in terms of like picking things up of where I'm at, actually? Okay, where I honestly, like, with this entire buffering situation, it made me a bit lost. I was like, where was I now? Let's see. Some people are blaming the horny police. Yeah, just because I reviewed new Cutie Honey, they're punishing me by buffering my streams. Oh, of course. But anyway, yes, ads. Okay. So I understand with the whole situation when it comes to ads. I know that you guys are not a fan of it. I'm just doing what I can in order to find a way to make this a business. But so like, and it's especially, it really does suck, especially when Twitch can really be aggressive when it comes to ads, so they can really be annoying with it. But yeah, anyways, going back into the whole Twitch situation, even though in this case it's not necessarily affecting me directly, because again, I'm not a Twitch partner, I'm only a Twitch affiliate. Like, I'm not even that big of a Twitch, I'm not even that big a Twitch affiliate in the first place. Like on average, my Twitch streams would go on average like only getting like 100 people per AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast episode. I don't upload, I don't do this like regularly. I only do this like weekly. And on top of that, I would only do this I only do it like a few hours of at a time. Like the thing with Twitch is that in order to become a partner, they really want you to go and do this like very frequently, like multiple, like several times a week, like to dedicate like several hours, I think up to like 12, like you got to go at minimum 12 hours. Like it's absolutely ridiculous. And with this entire situation, it just feels like it's becoming more and more meaningless to go and host onto Twitch. Like I'm not saying, okay, well, it's not like meaningless at all, but it really is a case where it just feels like it's very discouraging to use Twitch as a platform where it feels like it's giving its creators more and more and more of a hard time, that it's becoming harder and harder to become like a legitimate Twitch streamer because of the way that they're giving their creators a hard time, especially when it comes to their pay. And again, this is a very similar case with the whole Crunchyroll situation, where with Twitch they're owned by Amazon. There's really no excuse for them to not go and pay their creators, or to literally have everyone have that 70-30 cut. Like, why not go and give them that? And encouraging people by doing more ads, nah, it's going to be a way, like for them, they're going to be a lot more encouraged to just leave Twitch altogether. And I don't think this is really going to be a case where this is going to permanently shut down Twitch. I think it's still going to be going on. I think it'll still be a powerful force for like a good few years at least. But this is something where I could see a lot of Twitch users, especially a lot of Twitch streamers right now, like the top ones, they are considering other options. Like if they would have a chance to go and maybe move to another platform, like maybe YouTube, for example, they would go and take the opportunity. Because right now, what's happening right now when it comes to Twitch is that this is a case where it just really sucks in the matter of their business. Like this is just like, it's becoming at the point where like, for like, in order to live stream on Twitch, it's becoming less financially reliable. And if there is another option out there where they can do the exact same thing but just on a different platform and they would get more of a pay, they would definitely go and take that option. They would not hesitate to completely bail out on Twitch altogether so that they can have their exclusive streaming home onto a place like YouTube. And this is why, honestly, I will confess to you all, I have considered the option about where would I go if I won't have Twitch? Where would I take AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast or potentially AniMat Plays? Like, where would I take those and I would move them to somewhere? Like, where else would I go and move them? And I have considered YouTube at one point. I considered the idea like maybe I would go and move it to YouTube. But then again, YouTube would definitely be a hassle, especially when I would go and play trailers. Like I can imagine like during the streams, there would be a lot of complications. Like suddenly my stream would suddenly get muted and there would be a lot of copyright trouble. And, it would be a lot more of a hassle if I would go onto YouTube. Now, granted, there would be a lot of great benefits as well. It would give me a lot less time to go and, to edit things behind the scenes and to have them be uploaded onto YouTube later when those would be uploaded. And especially the fact when there would be like this one major home for AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast where you can watch the old, you can watch older episodes, and at the same time on that same channel, you can go and watch the podcast live. I mean, there are some benefits, but there's also some drawbacks. Like if I would move AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast onto YouTube, then I would have to go and make some significant changes. I would have to find ways in order to update the format of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, and I would have to I would have to go and change, like at least change things up so that it could be more accommodative for YouTube. And just out of curiosity, I just like, I know it's a little early, but I want to ask the chat wall, what would you think about moving to YouTube? Or if not, where else could I move AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? I would love to know what you think on this. Like, if you guys have any suggestions, I would love to hear it. So I just want to see if there would be some response. Are you? Oh, someone's asking, are you planning to do your own website? I don't know. I wouldn't think like just my own website would be ideal. Let's see. Yeah, a lot of people are suggesting YouTube. Some are saying like Nebula or Vidier.hu. Some are saying Caffeine. Actually, there was one idea that I heard. Some people are saying, let's see. Oh, okay, now so they're saying YouTube. I heard some people, well, not some people, but I've heard some ideas, like some streamers are suggesting maybe Patreon, and that could actually be an idea, like do a Patreon, do a Patreon exclusive live stream to which then they would go and be uploaded onto YouTube. Like, I know it's a lot more restrictive if it's just on Patreon, but that would not be, that could actually be pretty ideal. I know that some people are saying Vimeo, Twitter. I don't think Twitter does those things. But yeah, like honestly, like I would say for now, like some like the options would actually be maybe either YouTube or Patreon. But that is but that those would be the options if the case would happen, if I have no choice but to go and but to go and move it to somewhere else. Yeah, and I know some people are commenting in the case of Patreon. Patreon sounds good, but like people would have to pay, and some don't really have money to pay for Patreon all the time. Yeah. I do understand that. I mean, I know like maybe it wouldn't be that ideal for Patreon and it would be pretty limiting. I do get that, but again, it would only be an option. Like I'm just considering like the possibilities that I would pretty much have. But anyways, going back into Twitch, yeah, the situation with what they have over there, it seems it seems pretty bleak, and this is not a good look with what they have, and it pretty much highlights that there is going to be a dark future for Twitch where yes, you are going to see a lot of people where they will bail out from Twitch and they would rather move to another platform because it's going to be financially more feasible, and I wouldn't blame them. And yeah, maybe there will come a day where one day I would have to choose to ultimately bail out of Twitch, and that I gotta go and, put on AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast on another platform, rather it be maybe Patreon, maybe YouTube, but ultimately, excuse me. Ultimately, though, we would just have to wait and see with what we could possibly do. And yeah, like I know Double Toast has suggested that. Like, I listened to their podcast, and that's honestly where I got the idea of maybe having the podcast onto Patreon. That's where, like, honestly, it's where like Corey is the one who actually gave me that idea. But again, this is only an idea. We would have to wait and see with what we might have to do in the future. But yeah, so overall with this Twitch thing, yeah, it's not really a good look. I understand the backlash of what Twitch is getting, and who knows, maybe like the future, the future is still a mystery and maybe things could work out better. But yeah, so far things with Twitch, it's just not good. But anyways, with that said, I'd like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all, what do you all think in regards to the Twitch situation? What do you think is going to be the future of Twitch? Are things going to be pretty bleak right now? Do you think people will be abandoning it, or do you think people will still stay on Twitch? Let me know what you think on this. Let's see. Let's see. I was always convinced that Twitch had something to do with ads, and it turns out my belief turned out to be correct. This is an example of profits before people. No wonder that guy in the chat was always saying, Godzilla is approaching the ads! Seriously though, how many of these corporations are we bound to talk about and criticize this year? First Disney, then Netflix, then WBD, and now Twitch? By the way, if anyone wants to start streaming somewhere else, I highly recommend using the platform Caffeine. I mean, I've honestly never heard of Caffeine before. Like, I'll have to look it up to see if it is viable and if there would be enough people who would go and watch it, but we'll see. Let's see. Man, I just hope I just hope this comment doesn't get interrupted by ads. Anyways, I'm never too bothered by the ads, but at the same, want to get your shepherd's pie in a hurry? Order some bitch tits delivery service, available 24/7. Order now with a toothbrush and TiVo. Again, I hope that didn't get interrupted. That was really important information. I don't know. I was in the mood for shepherd's pie for some reason. What were you saying, dude? Anyways, I only use Twitch just to see your live stream podcast on this week's news, and that it is on formerly Saturdays and now on Mondays. Maybe seeing other live streamers like Double Toasted, but mainly to see your live stream. Going onto Twitch is a pain in the butt, as they are either bombarded with ads, which I switched to ads free because of that, or not working due to the streaming life. Still, I'm not a fan of Twitch in terms of how they treat its content creators, etc., but I hope you are okay. Oh yeah, like honestly in this case, this is not affecting me right now. It's just affecting the top streamers. It just depends on the actions of the top streamers of what they are going to do. If they choose to ultimately bail out, then this is going to be seriously damaging for Twitch, and that will probably be at the point where I should start considering where to move AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And by the way, thank you so much for thank you so much for like doing this, especially for me. You know, honestly, like, you know, that really gets me right there, man. Thank you so much. You know, it's truly I'm truly honored that you would go and like do the whole Twitch thing for me. Anyways, with Twitch, I honestly do agree that putting in more ads on their streams is a bad idea. Yes, I know they are a business, but it just hurts. It just hurts Twitch and make people move away from them and lose viewers. Even with this podcast, it's the reason why I subscribed to you in the first place, so I wouldn't be burdened with these ads. I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, I wish there could be a situation where we wouldn't need ads, but at the same time, like, you wouldn't have any interruptions with ads, but at the same time that, you know, I can make a business out of it. You know, it's like, it's a complex combination, and sometimes there are things that can work, and sometimes there are things that won't satisfy anyone or satisfy everyone. I mean, let's see. With the way Twitch is doing pay cuts is a very bad move, and we would see a dark future where streamers decide to move to different platforms. As for the ads, I honestly agree with you, Matt, that Twitch ads are just awful as F. It would be a great idea for your podcast to be moved to another platform if it gets worse. For now, I hope I get more subscriptions when I'm lucky enough to get one to avoid the dreaded ads. All right. I'm going to go and read one more comment before we go and move on to or actually two more comments. Let's see. I'm gonna head out and riot to the CEO of Twitch. Anybody want to do it as well? Can join me. But seriously, Twitch is a damn hassle, especially with a bit of its system. I kind of feel bad for a bit of the top streamers, because by the time they start leaving, Twitch will be like the penguins in Madagascar when they try to go to Antarctica, stuck in the cold. Yeah, especially. Let's see now. From one story about a greedy company to another, and they both are about refusing to pay people the proper amount. The only difference this time is just a whole lot more ads. I do admittedly use ad blocker, but only when I want to stop getting hit by ads all the time. I just hope that, hey guys, do you want to see a quality of our flex tape? Yeah, oh my god, and now people are like, now everybody is like trying to do the ads joke. Oh my god, JF, you started a trend. But yeah, unfortunately that's currently the situation with Twitch, and I mean, for now, I can say that the future of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast is going to stay on Twitch, But if things don't get better with them and we're starting to see the platform die, then yeah, then I'll have to seriously consider what should I do with my platform. Okay, so moving on to our next story, we actually got a good one now. I know that we've been talking a lot about greedy corporations and the fact that they're screwing over their creators, their actors, or whatever. But this time around, it's going to be a little bit more different. And it's honestly coming from a very unexpected source. Because out of all companies doing something like this, I didn't expect that I would see the day that YouTube would do a good. And I'm specifically talking about their music program. So lately, YouTube has actually been making some announcements that creators actually got a bit excited about. Recently, YouTube has revealed that they will go and actually monetize their YouTube shorts. So creators of YouTube shorts will have a way to actually make money off of making those like 60-second or less videos. But also, the main thing that they have revealed is a program called Creator Music, in which it would allow creators to go and license popular music and they won't get hit by copyright claims. So that's pretty much the big thing that they've advertised. In fact, let me go and read you specifically from my source here on The Verge. Here's what they have announced and the details of how some of this would actually work. As it's made on YouTube event today, the company announced Creator Music, opening up a catalog of popular music from content creators to use their platform without getting their monetization dinged. Creators have a few options. They can either license tracks directly and keep all of the revenue, besides the 45% cut YouTube takes, or share revenue with the license holders. If creators opt to share revenue with artists, their 55% share will be prorated based on the number of licensed tracks in their videos. YouTube spokesperson Susan Kadrecha says, if they use one track, they'll keep 27.5%, and if they use two, they'll get 18.3%. Videos are subjected to other deductions like performance right fees, and the remaining portion goes to rights holders. And they even mentioned that they already have hundreds of thousands of songs that are already in their collections across 50 different labels. So that's pretty much the big thing that they have revealed, in which you can actually go and license some popular music and that you could put it on your videos and not having to worry about any copyright situation whatsoever. And honestly, as a YouTuber myself, I gotta say, holy crap, this is actually very good. This is actually great news, in fact, because the biggest thing when it comes to copyright problems on YouTube, like the biggest, most guilty people of this entire problem is actually music. Music is usually the harshest when it comes to copyright. Like if you would use a popular song or something that sounds like a popular song, then you would immediately get claimed by copyright. Even if you're only using like just 10 seconds long, your entire video gets punished and you would not make any form of money on it whatsoever unless you would go and actually try to make some kind of dispute and stuff like that and go through that whole messy process. That's always been the biggest problem, and I've always tried my best to be very careful, especially when I admittedly use copyrighted music, where I would have to really put it down to the point where the system would not actually recognize it whatsoever. And I've tried other strategies as well, including trying to speed up the music a little bit, try to do different alterations. But yeah, copyrighted music has always been such a massive hassle. And yeah, it was something that even I have been dealing even with this podcast. Like I've told you before, it was actually because of a piece of music that was used in a trailer why my channel ended up getting a copyright strike. But it is going to be removed pretty soon, so that is the good news on that. But hearing now that they are going to have this license program, I think honestly that is fantastic, because that way it would pretty much guarantee protection on your videos, and that it wouldn't be, you wouldn't have to worry too much about copyright claims or copyright strikes taking down your videos. I don't think this is immediately going to be something that would encourage all YouTubers to go and actually use popular songs from now on onto their clips. I think honestly you'll still be hearing a lot of royalty-free music, so they wouldn't have to go through that extra hassle of trying to get the license, or to make sure that they could keep all the revenue as much as they can get onto their videos. But still, though, having this option, I think it's great. Even like the other option of like splitting your revenue with other music creators and rights holders, like, that feels like at least a better alternative than having the rights holders have all the money. At least you would get something. You wouldn't get as much as you would using either royalty-free music or using getting a license and stuff like that. But still, though, at least you are, the punishment is not as severe as it is before. However, with that said, there are a few questions that I do have when it comes to this new system. There are a few things that I would like to know about. Like, number one thing that I don't think we know as of yet is how much the license is going to be. Like, is it going to be cheap? Is it going to be pretty pricey? Like, how much would I pay if I want to use a popular song onto one of my videos? Like, let's say, for example, I want to use Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars. Like, if I want to use that song, like, rather it be like for a good portion of the video, or even if it's just for like 20 seconds long, how much would it be if I would go and have to pay the license? How much would that be? Now, if it's something that would be cheap, like if I would only have to pay like $2 or $5 just to go and get that license, that would be extraordinary. That would be fantastic. Then I would have no problem at all. Like, just pay in a few bucks, and then you'll go and have no worries about the license, and you'll be like, you'll be safe and secure with it. That would be great. That would be like, just pay a little bit just to get the license. That would be awesome. But if it would be something that would be a bit more pricier, like if Uptown Funk would cost about like $20 or even $30 or something like that, then honestly, I feel like YouTubers would be pretty hesitant in terms of licensing music. Like, maybe like some of the big name ones like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier or Game Theory or whatever, like they'll be able to afford it no problem, and that would be just like pennies for them compared to the revenue that they would get in their videos. But honestly, if it is something that might be in the higher price range, then that could be something that might be a bit more, like, I think people are going to be a bit more hesitant. Oh, and speaking of ads, yeah, like some people are actually experiencing that right now, ironically enough, with the Twitch ads. Speaking of which, but anyways, going back into my other question that I am talking about, the second question that I want to know, it's not just the price, but how much music are you going to put in? Like, I know they stated hundreds of thousands of music that you can go and license, but what I want to know is how much of it that you can like how much do you actually have in your system? Like, do you only have popular songs, or do you have like a wide collection that you can use from like a variety of like different labels and different mediums as well? Like, the reason why I'm asking that is because with my reviews, what I use is soundtracks. I use the soundtracks of the subject that I would go and talk about. Like, here's a good example. Recently, I've been working on my review of Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. And I know that movie technically is not that big name or like really popular right now, but there is still like the soundtrack that technically it is copyrighted. And what I would like to know is, would that collection that YouTube has, would they actually have the soundtrack of Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, so that I can go and actually buy those licenses so that I can use in my videos and not have to worry about the copyright claims hitting me for the use of the soundtrack of Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Like, would they, like, basically I'm asking, how extensive is the collection you have? That's honestly what I want to know. So overall, those are my two big concerns and my two big questions. How much and how much is a license, and how many songs are you going to have? But either way, I feel like this is actually a great opportunity. I think, honestly, this is very beneficial for YouTubers. And I think this really solves a massive problem when it comes to a portion of copyright, where now we can actually go and get licenses. We can now have solid proof to show to YouTube that we do indeed have the license. We do have something in order to present that we do indeed have, we do have the rights to these, and that we shouldn't have any copyright trouble. And also, like, the fact that we do have this, there is one thing that I do hope in the future. Like, I don't know if YouTube would have any plans for this, but honestly, with what they have announced, I feel like my dream scenario in this case would be if they do so with movies and TV shows. Like, that would honestly be so amazing. Like, imagine if YouTube would do the same thing, like do that license thing with movies, with series, and all that kind of stuff. Then honestly, the problems with copyright would be such a thing in the past. That would honestly be so amazing. Like, I could just go and buy a license for a movie so that I can use it for my reviews and stuff. That would be phenomenal. That would solve so much problems, and that would be completely revolutionary for YouTube, or at least it would be revolutionary for the way that I would go and work on my videos. Like, that honestly, I would love that. I don't know if they would plan that. Maybe it would be like a major hassle and a major process to go through like all the major studios and talk to them about having their license for their movies and stuff. But, oh, that would absolutely be a dream. Great. Is it? Oh, great. We're having another buffering problem. Oh, crap. What is wrong with this stream today? Is it because, like, it knows that I will be smack talking Twitch, and thus it is trying to punish me by, like, screwing over with my bandwidth? Like, holy crap. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Okay, hold on a sec. Should I try this again? Just want to double check. Here, I just want to wait and see, like, if it's going to be... Yep, okay, you know what? Screw this. Yeah, I'm going to go and do... Oh, hold on a sec. Okay, we're back live. Okay, no, we're back up. We're back up again. It seems to be good. All right, guys, can you hear me now? Let's see. Can you hear me now? Just want to make sure now. Okay, some people are still saying buffering, but I don't know. The numbers seem to be fine where I am. Okay, are we doing better now? Just want to know. I want to get the confirmation from the chat wall before we go and continue. So let's see. Roger that. Yeah. Yes. Okay, good. Now we're seeing it. Okay, now I'm getting the confirmation. Good. All right, perfect. But yeah, as I was saying, I would love to see if YouTube would go and do so with movies and TV shows. But overall, I gotta say, with this entire situation, it's just, like, with this entire case with YouTube and their plan with licensing music, yeah, I definitely can't wait to see how it is. I can't, honestly, I'm curious to see how this is going to go, how the system is going to work. And hopefully this could be beneficial for not just all other, for not just all creators, not just for all creators, but for myself as well. Honestly, I'm curious to see how things go. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but good on YouTube for actually making something that can help creators like me on this. So yeah, kind of excited on that. Okay, so anyways, with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all, how do you all feel about the new creator music program from YouTube? Are you guys excited for it? Are you guys excited to hear some popular music going on YouTube? And if you are a YouTuber yourself, I would love to know your opinion on this. So let me know what you think. Let's see. As a YouTube vlogger myself, this will be easier for me because I don't have to edit out music and add crappy free source music on my vlogs anymore. Sure, I won't get much more, but at least it's better than a copyright claim. Been having those a few times and had to mute out my video all because the background noise and music. Fair use has saved us again. Also, I do always credit the songs, though, to make sure people would like to listen to them. Yeah, I know. Like, crediting is one thing. I mean, like, yeah, as much as you could do credit, and as much as you'll say in the script, in the description, like, oh, this is fair use, like, YouTube just does not care. And yeah, like, this is also great for like, I can imagine this is also great for vloggers as well, in case there are those situations that suddenly in the background someone accidentally puts up like a popular song and like, you know, it spills out. Like if you're going to do a vlog like at like Disneyland or at Universal Studios and you hear that copyrighted music, at least you'll have a solution where you won't have to alter much of the video itself, while at the same time you could just go and buy a license so that it doesn't interfere with the content that you make. So that's pretty good. Let's see. Personally, this is amazing news as a content creator. As much as I wish I could have music in my videos since I was a kid, this is a dream come true. And as a creator who is just 2,000 watch hours away from hitting YouTube partnership levels, this will come really, really great for me. Maybe even others can too use them for great music for their videos. I hope YouTube does this for other copyrighted materials like clips from movies. Yeah, especially if they could do that for movies, like that would be a miracle. Like I am so excited. Like, I would be so excited for that. Oh boy. Like I'm going to write so much on my, you know, like honestly, I would write so much on my tax write-offs or like just write down on my taxes. It's like, you know, it's like movie license, movie license, movie license, movie license. Anyways, congratulations, YouTube. You have just earned the Being Competent for Once award. Jokes aside, this is some fantastic news for YouTube creators, especially those who do and want to use a lot of music in their videos. Of course, there are still some questions of how much it will cost and how large the music collection will be, but this is something that will help out a ton of people. And hey, at least YouTube is for once acting a whole lot better than Twitch, Warner Brothers, and Crunchyroll. Oh, absolutely. One of the rare occurrences that YouTube are the good guys here. Now, people can finally use music from people like Michael Jackson, Hyper Potions, Talking Heads, Pharrell Williams, Kid Cudi, and many more without getting copyright claimed or even a strike. This is simply a massive improvement from YouTube, just removing the dislike count. So I'm convinced that this is an early sign that YouTube will improve over time. By the way, what are your thoughts on Blue Sky composer John Powell? I'll have to remember what music that he has done, honestly. I can't really think right now, especially with everything that's been happening at the same time on this stream. Like, oof, it's, you know, honestly, it's been, I'll say right now, it's been a tough stream so far, especially with fighting with the bandwidth. You know, it's just been nuts, honestly. I recently did a series of YouTube shorts detailing my vacation to Cyprus, and each one uses a different copyrighted song. Oh, and Coconut Mall for some reason. So let me just go ahead and say that this is a great idea. Finally, I'll be able to put Ram Ranch over Club Penguin gameplay with nothing to worry about. My time has arrived. Now I must drink the space alcohol and dive deep into the 6th dimension. Or I could just make more videos, whatever works. I mean, you could always make videos in the 6th dimension. There's always that. Let's see. This news, I gotta say, looks awesome. I was getting sick and tired of some videos with licensed music and original music getting a copyright strike. I watched a YouTuber who is very strict and worried about getting strikes by YouTube for looking at videos with licensed songs, or as he says, is getting smoked or is getting his ace kicked. But with this, I think this will shine a light for many YouTubers, especially for music makers. Oh yeah, especially. This news, I gotta say, looks awesome. I literally just read that one. What the fridge was I thinking? Anyways, I'll read one more comment before we move on to the next story. Personally, this is amazing news as a... Oh no, I read that one too! What the fridge? Oh, fudge, where is my focus? Oh Okay, I'll read this one. I'm sure I did not read this one. This story resumes my main gripe about these YouTube strikes with Target that focuses both small and big creators. There's many reasons why art is being created at all, to let humanity express their feelings and many ways of interacting with their surroundings. Literature, dance, music, theater, cinema, all these mediums were created for those reasons. Why would we create art if it can't be appreciated by the many people? Without art, diversity can't exist. Well, I didn't expect I would finish this story off with that much of a speech, but here we are today. Okay, folks, moving on to our next story. The next one we will have, or at least for the remainder, we're getting back into animation. I know we've talked a lot in regards to companies and with technology and stuff like that. But hey, this is AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. At some point, we got to bring up some cartoons at some point. And what I'll be discussing is in regards to Illumination Entertainment. Now, some of you are aware that at New York Comic Con, they have revealed that on October 6th, funny enough, the day after my birthday, they have revealed that they will be showing the teaser trailer of Illumination's Super Mario Bros. Movie. And the internet is already freaking out about it. And already the anticipations are extremely high for that one. But we still have a few more days left until that time comes. So what I'm going to be talking about is another Illumination news. And this is going to be in regards to something that is very unexpected. Much like how YouTube did something good for their creators, Illumination is going to be creating content for adults. Now, we don't know the content themselves of what they are going to be making, but we do know that Illumination has revealed that they are going to be opening up a brand new label called Moonlight. And it's going to be run by Mike Moon, who used to be the head of the adult animation section of Netflix. In fact, let me go and read specifically on my source here from Variety, as it states, Moon most recently served as the head of animation at Netflix, a post he stepped down from in July to pursue other opportunities. His exit came as the streamer, battered by a swooning stock price, was laying off animators and dialing back its ambitions in the space. In addition to his new role as president of Moonlight, the company said that Moon will serve as a senior creative advisor to Illumination. Moonlight's films will be distributed under Illumination's distribution partnership with Universal Pictures. Illumination said that the goal is for Moonlight to produce animated films that push beyond the family genre. We also got a quote here coming from the founder of Illumination, Chris Meledandri, as he states, "We have an exceptionally talented group of artists, filmmakers, and producers at Illumination, and believe that there is no better complement to this team than Mike and the new company we are partnering to build. He has exceptional taste, deep experience, and a strong vision for the films we intend to make together. I look forward to Mike and Moonlight making a substantial contribution to Illumination's future." We even got a comment from Mike Moon himself in which he states, "I am thrilled to be joining the amazing team at Illumination. Chris has created the benchmark for character stories and innovation in animated films, and I am honored to be a part of the future of this visionary studio." And that is the major thing that we have so far, is the fact that Illumination is now going to be opening up to making adult content with Moonlight. And to pretty much make a long story short, Moonlight is to Illumination like what Adult Swim is to Cartoon Network. And again, they have not revealed what kind of content specifically they are going to go and produce. We don't know if it's going to be content that will be that will be a lot more adult oriented, or if they're going to be a lot more art housey. We just know that they are going to be making content that goes way beyond what we know them for doing, like The Secret Life of Pets or Despicable Me or Minions or Sing or whatever. So apparently they're going to be doing something completely different, which I gotta say, this is very unexpected coming from Illumination. Like, honestly, out of all the animation studios, like with the exception of Disney, Like, Illumination would feel like the least likely to go and make adult animated content, because like we know them so much for making like those big name franchise films such as Despicable Me and Secret Life of Pets and stuff like that. But now the fact that they are going to come in and do something that is like completely different is very unexpected. And you know, the funny thing is that with all this happening is that like I think the most exciting part about this news is the fact that I don't know what they are going to do because of the fact that this feels so different from Illumination. This is like in a way, I guess you could say this is very off-brand for Illumination to actually go and do, that you can't really predict how they are going to go and execute this. You can't really judge it by looking at something like Despicable Me or The Secret Life of Pets or Sing. Like, you can't really judge it based on what they have previously done, because this is going to be something that will be absolutely nothing like what they have previously done. And that's what makes it so exciting. And I think this will really answer a massive criticism with Illumination Entertainment, because people would usually go in and they know what to expect from Illumination. They know the kind of feature films. Like, now they can pretty much read those movies like an open book. Like, if you would go and watch a Sing movie or a Pets movie or a Minions movie, you know very well what you're getting into. But in this case with Moonlight, like, now anything is up in the air. Maybe they're not going to go and stick to the same like regular format that they've done with Illumination movies. Maybe they're not going to stick to the same Eric Dutton art style that they've been doing for so long. Maybe they will do something that will be absolutely different to emphasize that this is adult content. I mean, like, if you don't believe me, the same can pretty much be said if you look at Adult Swim compared to the works that has been done in Cartoon Network, where the general art styles and the tone and like the shows that they would produce for Adult Swim are way different than the kind on Cartoon Network. So honestly, I think it's going to be the same thing with what we have here with Moonlight, where now it's going to be completely different, and the type of content that they will make will be nothing like anything else that Illumination has done before. And that, I find, that's going to be the real exciting part. It's the fact that honestly, I know that the unknown is something that people would fear, but in this case here, I feel like the unknown is going to be something that will be pretty exciting. In fact, like, that's one thing I'm really curious to see and hoping for, is the fact that it will be something completely different. It's going to be something, kind of like what Sony Animation did with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, something that is going to be way different than anyone could ever expect coming from like the past works the studio has done. So who knows what it could be. Like, yeah, maybe these projects, like, they could be great, they could suck, but hey, at least it's going to be something different, and Illumination is legitimately trying something new. And then there is the factor of who's actually going to be writing it. And in this case, Mike Moon. And if you don't know who Mike Moon is, he's actually a pretty solid believe it or not, he is actually a pretty solid animation veteran. Because for a while, he has actually had a lot of experience with Cartoon Network, with Disney, and not just with Netflix, but also with Sony. He has actually been credited to be a key player for both Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and with The House of Mouse. He has done a few little side projects here and there, but lately he was at Sony, where he was an executive working on some of their more recent acclaimed animated films like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and he was even credited in The Mitchells vs. the Machines. And honestly, with that kind of expertise and with that kind of experience, honestly, this is a major win for Illumination. I think really this is both a massive loss for Netflix, but a major win for Illumination. The fact that they got this experienced veteran who has worked so much, who has worked for decades in the field, and the fact that now he's doing adult animation for a company like Illumination, yeah, that is a big win. That is like absolutely fantastic. And I think honestly that is why I have confidence in Illumination, because they are right now in good hands with Mike Moon. And you never know, like, considering he's also going to be a senior he's going to also be a senior advisor at Illumination in general, maybe his contribution can help things out in order to spice things up with the animated film. So maybe having Mike Moon in general will be a great benefit. But also there is one more thing I would like to comment, and this is like a little bit of a jokey kind of thing, but I just need to say that when it comes to having Mike Moon in, there's also a factor that is honestly pretty hilarious. Like, if you really do think about it, Illumination actually now has a Mr. Moon who is one of the big heads at Illumination Entertainment. It's honestly, I find that to be really funny. It's pretty similar to like how Doug Bowser is in charge of Nintendo of America. Now they got Mr. Moon, who is running a division at Illumination Entertainment. Like, all Mike Moon needs now is that he needs to have like this old lady who's gonna be this secretary just coming in, telling him, just telling him some updates like, Mr. Moon, well, there's someone in the phone for you. Did you pay them this time? Honestly, I just find that to be so perfect. Like, honestly, the only thing I ask is, please, can we just switch Mike's name into Buster, and then it would just be 100% perfect. Like, oh, just beautiful right there. But yeah, overall though, honestly, there's not a whole lot that I could really say, but I feel like the idea of adult animated content from Illumination, honestly, I'm curious and both excited for. Because this is nothing like what Illumination would do. This is totally off-brand of what they would normally go and do. But the fact that it is so different is what also makes it so exciting, that now Illumination is really expanding their creative horizons, that now they don't have to just make content only for kids and for families. Now they can also make content that's exclusively for adults. And I think with Mike Moon, it really is in good hand here. So yeah, honestly, I'm pretty excited with what they got here. So with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to go and ask you all, how do you feel about Illumination now making adult content under the Moonlight label? Are you guys excited for this? Are you guys a little bit more hesitant? Do you have any concerns? Let me know what you think on this. Okay, I know. Okay, now it's popping up. I was a little bit worried if like things were getting slow. Like, is my bandwidth like screwing over again? I don't know. Okay. Anyways, let's see what we got here. This is a great idea. While I do enjoy a good amount of Illumination films, I think it's great to see them go in a bit of a different direction and have it feel unique compared to Illumination's other works. So overall, I'm excited. Also, on a side note, regarding the Mario movie trailer, I am so hyped to see it, and I can't wait to see the internet explode. Personally, I'm not that excited to see the internet's reactions, but I am personally very excited to see the Mario trailer. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot, but honestly, I'm just excited for it in general. Like, I really am hyped up. It really is one of my most anticipated animated films next year. But anyways, let's see what else we have. Wait, Illumination getting into mainstream adult animated movies? I thought Sony Animation invented it with Sausage Party, despite that movie having a small budget. Just to clarify, no, that is not Sony Animation whatsoever. Sony Pictures only distributed. Sony Animation actually has nothing to do with Sausage Party. Like, you got to keep in mind, just because Sony would go and distribute an animated film, that doesn't necessarily mean it's from Sony Animation. It's kind of like the same thing with the first Angry Birds movie and with the upcoming Garfield movie. Anyways, this was the type of news I expected to start off my 4-day weekend. But this is honestly really exciting news because Illumination is finally upping their game massively. Also, I hope that Mario movie looks more like Spider-Verse, The Mitchells, and even recently with DreamWorks, The Bad Guys. I don't know. Like, honestly, I'm just going to say now, in terms of my predictions, I think what Illumination is going to do, they're not going to stick to their usual art style like they have done before. I think, honestly, the animation style is going to stick more closely with what we have recently seen with stuff like Luigi's Mansion 3 and the new Mario Strikers game. I think we're going to have like that style of animation where they are going to stay true to the games that we all know and love, but they will elevate the quality. They will elevate the quality so that it's more, that it fits more cinematically, if you get what I mean. Let's see what else we got. So far, the biggest Illumination announcement I've ever heard since the Mario movie announcement. I wonder what they could do since they can go beyond the family films. They could do stuff similar to Love, Death, and Robots, Primal, and Adult Swim. With their weirdness, artistic details, or yet better films, Illumination, my boy, you're doing a major favor for animation. Good luck. All right. Illumination is going to make some adult animated content, huh? That seems like a good change of pace for once, as everyone knew them as the studio that produces kids movies like Minions, for example. I don't know what kind of adult animated content works they would make, but we'll wait and see. By the way, do you think DreamWorks Animation would enter to make adult animated works too in the future? I don't know, because like because both DreamWorks and Illumination is both under Universal. I think they're going to go and start things off with Moonlight first, and if that goes very well, then maybe they can open the door to DreamWorks as well. Maybe, we'll see. Let's see what else we got here. Who would have expected the creators of goofy family-friendly franchises that everyone can enjoy and the Secret Life of Pets movies would be one to branch into the realms of adult animation? I like Illumination's movies, and I can't wait to see what they do with the adult side of what they're capable of. But for now, I'm just going to keep my eye on the Mario movie trailer. With its cast and directors in mind, it'll either end up totally awesome or a complete mess. And either way, it's probably the and suddenly the comment just got cut. Let's see now. It physically pains me to say this, but Illumination is doing something right for once. I reserve judgment until I see what they put out from this venture, but major studios putting out adult animated movies can only be a net positive. Impress your coworkers, please your woman. Millions have found success, and so can you. Exactly. Is this just a random ad that you're putting in, or is that an ad for Moonlight? I don't know at that point. That running gag has been going for so long that I don't know if you're either joking or if that's just a part of the comment. Let's see. I'll read one more comment before we go into the grand finale. First, YouTube is being good for once, and now Illumination wants to do adult content. I think that parts of the alternate dimension are colliding with ours right now. While I do feel that Illumination isn't the best when it comes to animated movies, this does feel like they can expand their horizons and possibly bringing out more of their creativity. Also, since we are talking about Illumination, I just want to ask if you are going to stream the reactions to the Mario movie trailer. Oh yeah, I'm going to stream it. I will stream it, no problem. It's just going to be on YouTube. That's going to be an issue. I don't think I'll be showing the trailer itself on YouTube because that's kind of a different story right there. But when it comes to streaming like trailers and stuff like that in here, it's perfectly fine. That's no trouble. But yeah, honestly, let's hope for the best for Illumination. I mean, it seems like a great idea. A lot of people are actually supporting it. Even Illumination haters are actually liking it. So let's see how it goes with Moonlight. And now, folks, it is now time that we shall go and cap this off with the grand finale. And with this finale, I decided to do something a little special, and I want to save a trailer at the end. Usually I would put these in the beginning, but I figured, why don't we go and spice things up and make this grand finale a trailer that I honestly thought we would get this weeks earlier. I thought this would be a part of like, oh, this will be released at the same time as D23. But nope. It turns out we ended up getting it much later, but then again, hey, better late than never. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out the trailer for the upcoming Disney animated feature, Strange World.
Whoa! What kind of airship is that? What is the president doing in our front yard? Our entire world is in grave danger. I want you to come with me on an expedition.
I'm not my father. He was the explorer.
I know you were just a kid when he went missing, but now, you're all we got.
Mr. Clade, I'm a huge fan thank you. Of your dad. Do you think you could forge his autograph?
What?
Where in the world are we? Ethan, you brought the dog?
Sorry!
We are clearly in uncharted territory.
Hello, you probably don't understand a word I'm saying.
Of course I understand you.
Huh? Dad?
Dad? Grandpa? I'm a grandpa.
What is this place?
The cliffs are alive, and the waters dissolve the flesh off your bones.
Everything down here is trying to kill us.
Do you mind if I call you Splat? You just kind of give me Splat vibes. Ow! I guess I deserve that. Grandpa's awesome!
He is not awesome! You gave me a machete for my birthday?
Classic Jaeger Clade.
I was 2.
I'm loving this family reunion, but come on, we got a world to save.
We need you to figure this out, otherwise we're doomed. We are doomed!
Wait, seriously?
No, I'm just messing with you.
Didn't see that coming.
And that is Strange World, in which the movie will be coming out exclusively in theaters on November 23rd, which is American Thanksgiving. Okay, now the first thing that I just great. Oh wow, now there was buffering during the trailer. Okay, you guys can still hear me, right? You guys can still see me, you can hear me. Like, is everything like okay? Like I just want to know, like, okay, yeah, there was buffering problems during the trailer, but what about right now? Like, can you still, like, are we still good? Just want to know. Okay, all I see right now. Okay, no, all right. All right, no. It seems that people, okay, it's fine so far. Okay, so everything's okay. But anyways, going back to what I was talking about, yes, with Strange World. The thing is, I will say that I feel like it is good. Like, from what I'm seeing in this trailer, like, what we are seeing, oh crap, oh, suddenly, and it's gone. And suddenly, yeah, I really need to double check on what the fridge is happening. Like, I don't know if it's a connection issue with me. I don't know if it's my computer, or like there is something going horribly wrong with today. Yeah, this is yeah, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to go and hold on. Let me just should I restart? Just want to double check. Is it going to come back? Yes? No? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, and it's going back down. So let me just go and yeah, I'm gonna quickly go and reset that, and then let's go back on. Okay, so hopefully this will go and fix the situation. Hopefully this will be much better now. Let's see. So guys, can you hear me? Is this better? Can you all see me? Can you all hear me? Okay, yes. Okay, much better. Okay. Okay, good. So anyways, back to what I was saying with this trailer. The thing with Strange World is that I feel like what I'm seeing is good. Like, a lot of it is good. The ideas are good, the animation's really awesome, and so far, the clips that we are seeing, like, you know, it has a lot of potential. But honestly, I have yet to be convinced that this is going to be a great movie, that this is going to be a really awesome addition to the Disney animation lineup. Like, so far, there was a high standard that they already established last year with movies like Raya and the Last Dragon and Encanto. And with Strange World, I don't know if I'm getting that feeling that it's going to be on par with those feature films. Like, number one, looking into Strange World, it feels like they're going back into their more action-oriented movies, like not just with Raya, but it really is going to be something similar to what they have done before with like Atlantis: The Lost Empire and with Treasure Planet, where it's going to be a bit more sci-fi oriented. We're going to see these explorers entering this brand new world, and the world building is going to be heavily emphasized. We're going to meet some like surrealistic creatures, and there's going to be a lot more action and developing a lot of the characters. So there's really going to be a lot of that shall be developed. And I will say that, honestly, when it comes to the concepts that they are bringing up, that honestly, I do see how those can actually work, where it's going to be the main character played by Jake Gyllenhaal, who's going to be reunited with his dad in that strange world. And then like we're going to have like that family dynamic going on, while at the same time we do learn about this again, like world building is going to play a much more significant factor into this film. We will learn a lot more about it. And also like we will learn about like other characters as well, and like what's their role in this, what are they going to do in this entire situation. Like the potential is there. They got some good ideas going, but it's just so far the execution has yet to really sell me. Like number one, honestly, there is the humor. Like there's a lot of jokes that you would go and see throughout this feature, and a lot of them I would say that at best they are chuckle worthy. There's nothing that's like really hilarious or like it's really a lot of fun. It's just like, they're okay at best, and there might be a few that don't necessarily land well. And even at that, like with some of the humor, it just feels corporate-y with some of the ways that they would go and present the characters, like especially Splat, for example. Like there was that quick little moment there, like this little part.
Do you mind if I call you Splat? You just kind of give me Splat vibes. Ow! I guess I deserve that.
So yeah, like honestly, that one, I mean, again, it's cute, but I wouldn't say like, oh, that thing is hilarious. And like you could tell, like Splat feels like a character that's meant to sell toys. Like I get more of those vibes from Splat more so than I would get from Socks from Lightyear. But I don't know, like, again, I'm only judging this through the trailer that we are seeing here, so I don't know, like, I could totally be wrong, of course. And even, like, the dynamic between the main character and his dad, I don't know, I feel like we've already gotten so many animated movies where, like, we got the father-son dynamic going on that, it is kind of becoming a cliche at some point. And there have been some movies that did it great. There are some movies that did not, honestly. So this movie has to really do a lot in order to make sure that it doesn't feel like a ripoff, it doesn't feel like something that people will go and compare like How to Train Your Dragon in terms of that father-son dynamic. So honestly, that is going to be something that would be determined. And even in the trailer here, it feels like something that could be a little bit cliched with the way that they are reunited and stuff, and with the direction that they may go with it. And also I would even say the animation as well. I mean, a lot of it is top notch. A lot of it actually looks beautiful, and I mean the way that they animated this strange world, it looks absolutely phenomenal. I mean, like the shots that they would create, they are absolutely gorgeous. Like already I could tell, like the best thing from this is in regards to the animation. I mean, like just already the production design and the backgrounds that they've created is just absolutely awe-inspiring, and even the use of colors that they would have, that it's flat out beautiful. But the one thing that I would comment, and honestly that it's like throwing me off a little bit, is regarding the eyes. Like, I know it's a minor detail, but for me, I feel like the most important part of a character design is in regards to the eyes. Now, I get it, and I do understand, and I appreciate the ambition of trying to create an art style that is different than what they've previously done, like go beyond the realms of the classic Disney style in order to produce their new characters, in order to make some new animations. But I don't know, I feel like with what they have done here with especially with the main characters, like the beady, you know, I don't know, the weird beady little eyes, and like going into a more like wide oval, like, I don't know, that feels like it's throwing me a little bit off. It's like it feels it feels strangely and unnecessarily cartoony, where it just doesn't work. Like it feels like a design that it works well on paper. I'm sure like in a 2D design, it looks fine as is. It can work well, but like putting it in 3D, and when you're trying to make it detailed and realistic, and when you're trying to add in an eye, like a realistic iris and stuff like that, I don't know. It just makes the characters look a little bit more unusual. But this is not necessarily reflected on like all the characters. For example, like you got Lucy Liu's character, who has similar eyes than like characters from like Raya and the Last Dragon. Well, I mean, she's a bit more of an Asian character, of course, so of course you would get that. But like you do see what I mean, though. It's like, I don't know, it's just like Lucy Liu's character has more appealing eyes than like the main characters that you would have over here, if you do get what I mean. So, but again, I know it's a minor detail, but overall, this is just to say that I just personally feel like with this movie, like, it has convinced me that this is good. Like, already, this is promising me that this is going to be better than at least half of the animated films that we have gotten so far. But it has yet to fully convince me that this is going to be a great movie, that this is going to be something in the levels of the previous Disney films that we've had, especially with the fact that last time we've had a Disney animated movie, they did something incredible. Like, they did what I think is the best animated film of last year with Encanto. They got some pretty high standards that they got to go and reach. And honestly, with this one, I don't know if it's going to reach it. Like, it's going to be a pretty good film, but judging by this trailer, I don't know if this is going to be an amazing movie. Like, if this is immediately going to go up as like one of the best animated features that we have this year. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if I would come out having similar thoughts to Lightyear, where it is good, but definitely not on par to the previous works that they have done. But ultimately, like, again, this is just a trailer. I could totally be wrong, and there could be some amazing surprises that Disney will have in store with Strange Planet. And for now, we will just have to wait and see with how things are going to go. Again, the movie's going to be released the movie will be released in theaters on November 23rd, so we'll just have to wait and see with how it goes. And with that said, I'm going to go into the chat wall, and I would like to ask you all, what do you all think about this trailer of Strange World? Did you guys enjoy this trailer? Are you completely hyped up for this movie? Do you have any doubts about it? Let me know what you think on this. Okay, let's see. From the looks of it, it looked like it's gonna be plain good or just okay. Maybe not in the levels of turning red, but probably won't divide many people as Lightyear did in terms of this year from Disney and Pixar. It had great animation and good concepts, but like you, I don't know if it will be best, so I'll just give it a wait and see. Oh yeah, you know there are going to be those anti-woke people that they are going to go and completely make people divided on this. I mean, they've actually confirmed that Jake Gyllenhaal's son, like this kid over here, he's actually going to be gay. And not to mention, like, we already got a highly diverse cast. Like, we got white people, we got Asian people, we got black people that are among the characters. They will find, those anti-woke people, they will find a way to keep people divided, and they will keep radicalizing their viewers just to put in more hate on Disney, because that seems to be the massive cash cow that they're trying to do. So trust me, like, it may not seem like it at first in terms of like fueling culture wars, but those alt-right grifters, they will find a way. Let's see now. I already saw this trailer and a sneak peek for Strange World at D23 weeks ago. Seeing Jake Gyllenhaal and the cast in person was definitely one of the biggest highlights in the expo, but for the trailer itself, it looks pretty awesome. Hopefully the actual film will deliver a fun adventure and some great characters. I'll be seeing a work-in-progress version next month in Animation is Film Festival. I'll give you my thoughts soon on my YouTube channel. Pretty awesome, man. Pretty awesome. Let's see. Disney seems to be on a generational trauma kick. That's not a complaint, just an observation. I'm excited to see the studio doing another sci-fi animated feature, and Jules Verne's inspired sci-fi at that. I hope it's another surprise hit for Disney and that it doesn't bomb like Lightyear or the taste kids love and the nutrition kids need. Look for it in the cereal aisle. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it'll probably do better than the cereal. Anyways, this trailer looks pretty good. I love the ideas that are presented in this movie. The animation is absolutely beautiful, and the characters do seem like a lot of fun. And overall, I'm excited. However, one thing I'm really hoping for this movie is that they won't make the dad a twist villain, because I have had enough of Disney twist villains to last a lifetime, and sometimes they don't work. Yeah, honestly, I was about to say, like, well, Disney doesn't do that anymore, but then I realized the freaking messed up thing that they did with Zurg. Like, oh yeah, no, they are still doing it, and it's still that thing still makes no sense. It is as terrible as like when that thing was already done in the freaking Lego Movie 2. So yeah, let's just hope for no twist villains. I mean, then again, you could argue, like, with Lightyear, that's just Pixar, and with Disney, maybe they'll do something different, so let's just hope for no twist villains this time. Let's see now. The new Strange World trailer looks good. Not great. The concept looks amazing, and the colors are very vibrant, but I don't see this as a Disney masterpiece like Encanto. I kind of see this as the new Atlantis and Treasure Planet, even though I love those two movies, but we don't know for sure if this film will turn out to be a failure or a success. And is it me, or does the mom, at least I think she's the mom, looks a lot like, what's her name in Encanto, the girl who can hear everything? Oh, you mean Dolores? Well, keep in mind, I don't know, like, the thing is, she's here's another example where the eyes are a little bit off. But I don't know, like, I guess with the hairstyle, maybe, like, she's, like, the hairstyle definitely is reminiscent to Dolores, but I don't know, there is, like, a major difference between Dolores and her, I'm just saying. All right, I think I'm going to read one more comment before we cap this off, or at least before the bandwidth comes after me again. This trailer looks pretty good. I love the idea that are presented in this movie. The animation looks absolutely beautiful, and the characters do seem like a lot of fun. So overall, I'm excited. However, one thing I'm really hoping for this movie is that they won't make... Oh, no, wait, I already read this. What the fridge am I saying? Hold on. Let's do a proper one more. There we go. Okay, right here. First, Encanto had Mirabel confronting her grandmother, then Turning Red had Mei Li confronting her mother, and now this will have Searcher confront his father. Yeah! Oh, thank you, DJ Lol5 for the subscription, by the way. Anyways, this must be Disney's new trend. While I don't feel invested in the story, the humor, the characters so far, the animation is spectacular, the music sounds amazing, and the designs of the characters just look overwhelming, of the creatures look overwhelmingly beautiful. It seems good right now, but I fear this will not be so successful, considering most of Disney's other sci-fi movies. Yeah, I definitely do get what you mean. And with that said, that should do it for today's episode of AniMat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. And I just want to start things off by saying I am sorry for the technical difficulties that we've had so far. I don't know what the fridge happened, and I don't know why I kept getting these bandwidth problems and, like, why it kept on buffering. I'm gonna go and look that up to make sure that doesn't happen again for the future streaming, for like future episodes. But yeah, hopefully, let's hope for the best that things will go a lot more smoothly for the next episode. And with all that said, I would like to say thank you all so much for listening. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, see you later, dudes.